This is just an intermission to the Mark 3 Supra build.
Hey guys, Chris here. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm in beautiful Chicago right now. I'm from here and it's my birthday week, so I thought I'd come for a visit. It's awesome here. In Dallas right now, it's like 105 this week. Actually, it's gonna be in the hundreds pretty much for I think the next few weeks as well. It's just terrible. But anyway, on to the video. I wanted to talk about the list of parts for the Supra. On my journey from Dallas to New York City, I encountered, uncovered, or basically created several problems. So there's a couple things that I do want to do to fix the car, bring it to where I want it to be. There's also several other parts that have been in queue even before the trip. So I want to talk to you guys about all that. By the way, sorry for the bad audio. I forgot my mic. Came out here this morning to just capture the sunrise. And it's looking pretty dope. But I was in a hurry to catch it. So I forgot the mic. So sorry about that. So first up on the list is something that I've already had for a while, is coilovers. I installed RSR springs last year, and while I was installing them, I found the rear shocks to just be in pretty bad shape, but I kind of just had it all torn apart, and I was like, let's just throw it on, finish the install, and see how it goes. The car rides pretty well. It's just a little bit bouncy and harsh in the rear, so I did pick up some coilovers from Redline 360 last year. It was TN Flex Z, and they were only like $814 shipped, so that's a great deal. And there's only a few other options out there for coilovers. One that I have thought about was Fortunato's, the 500 series. They're really good, but they're just, I think they were like double what that was, so I wasn't ready to spend that much money on the suspension, since it's mostly a daily, and even though I may mess around with some track events in the future, it's not really something I'm hoping to compete in or anything like that. So next up is the hatch seals, or maybe the taillight seals. I'm really not sure. I know that both can tend to wear out and start leaking. I know that leaking in the trunk is a pretty common problem for the Mark 3 Supras. I guess mostly due to age. I mean, these are 30-plus-year-old rubber seals. I want to replace that pretty soon. The last thing you want on a car like this is rust. I've dealt with rust on other project cars in the past, and it's not something you want to mess with. So next up is the rear view mirror. In my trip to New York City, I broke it. So that's completely my fault, but I just need to replace it. I've been looking at ones on eBay, just a stock replacement. Someone on the comment section of one of those road trip videos did mention something about a Gentex mirror, so I might look into that. So next up is a big one, and that's the exhaust. Yeah, this is huge, because basically when I was doing the swap and just trying to get everything to a point where the car is drivable, I was just in a hurry, and I have tried to avoid getting any of my cars serviced by anyone else. And no knock on anyone who works in exhaust shops, because they have skills that I don't have, but a lot of times they just use these metals that don't really look good compared to like exhaust you could just buy in the marketplace somewhere. And I always felt like they just didn't really provide the quality that you would want out of a custom build. And I found that out the hard way, because the exhaust, they just kind of janked it together. I don't know how to say it, but there's supposed to be like a hanger in the middle that holds it up, and I don't know how they put it together. I haven't really looked at it too much, but it's basically just hanging way too low, and on my trip it just caught on so many different things. Steep driveways, the gas covers at the gas station, just so many things, and it's just something that I'm gonna have to get fixed, and I don't think I'm gonna go back to an exhaust shop. I think if I get stock cab back components, because I have like a stock fitting downpipe from 1JZ to the MK3 Supra, it should work. I'm not sure. I have to look more into it, but all I know is the exhaust is definitely very needed. Next thing is a pretty big one as well. That's the overheating. Now a big part of that is the fan that I'm running. I'm running an electric fan instead of the clutch fan. And I know a lot of you guys in the MK3 Supra community, or those of you with 7Ms or JZs, swear by the clutch fan. And I would have kept the clutch fan, but everything's just kind of in the way. So that's why I went with an electric fan that was slim enough to fit in that area. If I ever get the intercooler system just reworked, I'll probably go back to the clutch fan, but for now that's what I'm gonna run, is the electric one. I adjusted it to come on a little bit sooner, but what I'd like to do is get a new radiator, one that's a little bit thicker, better cooling, and I went with a Koyo Red. There was several different options out there, and to be honest, I can't make heads or tails of it. There's people that swear by one versus the other, and I just decided to just go with a Koyo Red, and I'm gonna let you guys know how it goes with that. Now related to heat, there is one problem. I don't have AC, so it gets pretty hot inside the cabin. So two things I want to do to fix that. One is the tints. I don't have tints, so I need to get the windows tinted. And I'm not sure if I want to hire someone to do it or do it myself. There's a window tint shop near me that I got my FRS tinted at. So, but I'm not sure I want to do that, or if I want to just grab some tint somewhere online and do it myself. The downside of that is I have never done it before, so it'll be a learning process. It'll be frustrating to do it, but I'm sure I'll be able to get it done. Also, the quality of the tint may not be as good. Going to a tint shop just will cost more, but they'll do a great job with it. Now, one thing that's problem with that is I noticed my windows are really kind of scratched up. They're just really old, so I'm not sure if it's worth it to pay that much money to get those windows tinted. May end up replacing them in the future if they even make those for that car. But yeah, more to come on that. Not sure yet which way I want to go. Now, I did notice the car was also heat soaking. At first I thought it was like, well, it's just heat coming in from the windows and there's just a lot of glass in the car, but actually heat was coming in through the tunnel. And it could be partly when I put on a short shifter, maybe I didn't seal it properly and it's coming in through the shifter hole. Could be the transmission's getting hot, could be the exhaust is getting hot. One thing that I did last year is I wrapped my exhaust manifold and downpipe, so that could be pushing the heat downstream and getting more hot in the middle somewhere, and that coming up through the tunnel. So underneath I might get some of those metal heat shields to just put between the exhaust and the body, and inside I might do some kind of insulating around the tunnel area. Now, you guys know one of my earliest videos on the build, I actually removed some insulation, but those are like those sound deadening tar. I don't think they really help with heat. So I just need to work on the tunnel area and get that a little bit better sealed up. I also have this boost controller that I purchased, and when I installed my boost gauge, I also installed, I think, some of the hoses that go to the boost controller, but I never finished that installation. I truly just wanted to get the car running as stock as possible before installing a boost controller and upping the boost. Now that I'm at this point where the car has driven from Dallas to New York City, I think it's time to go ahead and install that. Not just yet. I may actually get like a baseline run on the dyno, see what the car is actually doing, but boost controller coming soon. Lastly, some quality of life things I'd like to install. I purchased a cup holder from Auto Extrude. You guys know the MK3 Supra doesn't have a cup holder. At least I don't think it does, not the US models. So Auto Extrude makes a couple different ones. They make one that goes in the center, like right below the TEMS switch, and they make one that goes on the side, like kind of near the passenger knee. That's a big one. I want to have a cup holder. I also have these sets of bands that I bought for the cassette player because I bought the stock radio, and it's just kind of eating up tapes. I heard that cassette players need to have their bands replaced at some point. It also wouldn't hurt to get like a tape head cleaner or something like that. That's pretty much it. I don't know if I got everything. I'm trying to think if I forgot any other parts, but basically we're restarting this build, continuing on making the car better and better. And I'm excited to take you guys on this journey. I really appreciate everyone that subscribes and watch my videos on a regular basis. You guys are the real ones. Hope to see you guys soon. Catch you in the next one. Peace.